Okay, let them join. I'm going to start my today's presentation. So, as you know, in the schedule, there is a two part. First part is from 5 to 6, and second part is from 6:30 to 7:30 onwards. So, and as all of you have got your schedule, I think the presentation is C14 from the uh, guidance and counseling paper, Unit 4, and basically it is covering up the group approaches in vocational guidance and counseling. And so there are few subunits, around 5 subunits are there. So I will try to my level best to cover up the all subunits, but it's, as you know, all of you are aware about that it's really tough to cover up all those 5 units within a very short time. So I will give emphasis on the important, and as well as which is important in terms of, not in terms of the examination, but importance in terms of our professional practice, and few things. And in the second presentation, which will be going to start from 6:30, and I would like to share a new topic also, which is not directly mentioned here. I hope everyone will be interested to join, and everyone will be interested to learn about the career counseling. I hope it is not included. If you are interested, then the second part I will be cover up the career counseling, how we will do the career counseling, and what would be our role as a educator, and what are the tools available, and how do we administer the tools so that we can get an idea about the career counseling, career objectives, career opportunities, as well as the career perspectives also. So I hope you are interested, or you are interested to learn from that, learn the topic career counseling. I hope you everyone will be interested. Okay, though it has not directly mentioned, but I think for vocational guidance and counseling, career counseling is an important part. So hope everyone will be interested. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. First, the things is important. All of you are maybe aware, but I would like to start from the concept of counseling, not the definition. Uh, I hope you all are you are aware that this is the fourth unit, and before the all the other 3 units are proceeding me. So that has basically discussed about the counseling, what is counseling, but still uh, just one slide on counseling. As you know, counseling is basically the non-judgmental understanding, and which is basically includes also the listening skills, also the responsive skills, and the changing the behavior confidentially. So first is, if you think which one is first and which one is second, in terms of the definitional component, it's really tough. But if you think about the non-judgmental understanding, the non-judgmental understanding means in which way the client is expressing his problems or her problems to you, that has to be accepted as it is. We should not be at least at the initial stage, and even in the within the whole process also, we should not be the judgmental. Judgmental means when the someone is thinking about that she might did something wrong with his or her uh, very closest friend. So if you became the judgmental, if you judge the person is not good, so your counseling may not work out. So first thing is you have to understand the problems, you understand the position or the situation of the client without any judgmental approach. First thing. And if you want to understand the problems, one thing is important in terms of counseling. You should be the active listeners. That means listening skill is also important. Having time to talk to someone who listens. That means when you are the counselor, so that time you should be the active listener. So what is mean by active listeners? Active listener means, and another way we may say, the empathetic listeners. That when you are listening someone, so that times he or she may think that you are participating in the process. You are fully involved. You are giving the proper attention to him or her. That has to be present from your side. Otherwise, he or she may be confused. He or she may not share all the information to all of you. As a result, you may not identify the magnitude of the problem. And in case of counseling, when we will in a deeper level, if you could not identify the magnitude of the problem, it may be the tough for you to identify the exact cause of the problem or the causes of the problem. And as you are not identifying the problems, it is not possible for you to give the proper remediation. That is important. So that's why the active listening skill is important. Responsives, there are two things in terms of the stimulus and various relationship. As in one is stimulus and another is the response. And in stimulus and response relationship, there may be a two types of response. One is the active or the proactive response, or the you may be reactive to the situation. You may respond to the situation. In counseling, it has to be the response, not the reaction. Reaction means, so which the you are controlled by your instinct, which is controlled by your inner instinct. But when you are responding something, that means you are analyzing the situation, and based on the situation you are respond to the situation. For example, in one incident, someone is calling in the flat, the someone is calling that your Mr. Sharma, your daughter is eloped. So as you listen, the Mr. Sharma just he jumped from the 15th floor, and it is just like a joke. When he was coming to the 10th floor, that time he was thinking that I am not the Mr. Sharma, I am Mr. Verma. And when he coming at the fifth floor, that time he is thinking even he doesn't have the daughter also, because he didn't marry anyone, and even without marriage also the daughter could be present. So that means instantly when you are listening something that your daughter is ill of, so that means you are jumping from the floor, or you are jumping from the roof. So that is the reaction. Response would be what you are listening and how you have to analyze, synthesize, and based on that you have to take the decision. And what could be done, what could be as a problematic situation, what you can do if you unable to control your emotions, if you unable to control your instinct. So just be keep quiet, calm, so that you can respond to the properly to the situation in any situation, in a organization institute, with the boss, or with anyone also. So that means the responsive, that means response in terms of the response, not in terms of the reaction. And confidentiality, all of you are aware, the confidence is one of the major components in counseling. And the changing means the when someone is coming to you, most of the time, or rather, I should say that in 99.95% cases, she might have some problems. So when she is coming to you with problems, that means your cases, your client is expecting change within him, and the expectation is that you should advise and you should give some way out. That is that means change in terms of the behavioral pattern. So before coming and when he is returning home, so that time there may be a change in terms of behavioral pattern, change in terms of the information, change in terms of relationship, change in terms of the cognitive process, change in terms of the thinking pattern. So anything could be changed, and change should be in a positive note. So that is the important. So I hope it is clear. So কাউন্সিলিং বলতে যদি আমি বোঝাই, তাহলে প্রথম দিকে কোনো নন জাজমেন্ট কোনো জাজমেন্ট না করে আমি একটা আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড করছি। এই আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড করবার জন্য আমাকে অ্যাক্টিভ ভাবে শোনার প্রয়োজন হচ্ছে, এবং এই শোনার পরে আমি যে রেসপন্সটা করছি সেটা অবশ্যই পজিটিভ রেসপন্স, রিয়াক্ট করছি না সিচুয়েশনটাতে, এবং এটা অবস্থার মধ্যে একটা কনফিডেন্সিয়ালিটি, একটা গোপনীয়তা মেনটেন করছি, এবং তার সঙ্গে সঙ্গে যিনি আমার কাছে এসেছেন অবশ্যই তিনি নিশ্চয়ই কোনো প্রবলেম নিয়ে এসেছেন, বা কোনো একটা ওয়ে আউটের জন্য আমার কাছে এসেছেন, তার মধ্যে কোনো রকম কোনো একটা চেঞ্জেস আমি নিয়ে আসছি, বা সেখানে কোনো চেঞ্জেস আসছে। নাও, as our topic is the vocational counseling, but vocational counseling not separately, it is completely the post-school program. It is post-school program, but the process has started from the school, and counseling has the enormous role in the schools, and basically in the inclusive school. And what are the rules? It's help in case of counseling. It to handle the emotional conflict, like personal problems both in the schools and their daily life. It deals with the psychological problems which might affect their studies. It develops the problem solving skill which help them to deal the issues surrounding their lives. And most of the time, even the adolescent students, they are unable to deal even the basic problems, and where the counselor role is important. I'm not going into the details. In counseling school, need of the counseling in schools, as you know, the student who lack the parental support at home require the additional intervention to support their optimal schools, academic and the psychological development. There are many studies, lots of studies has been done, and evidences reports are there, where it was reported, and that the lack of parental support means any conflict, marital discord, relationship with the siblings, problems in the neighbors, and many things. And most of the time, when there is a problem, even the lack of proper attention from the parents also may create the problem in the school situation. In many times, there are many incidents where the students are not concentrating properly in studies in school, as the parents don't have the time to give their child at home. That means you might ask me questions, sir, if it is there, that most of the times we are the now there is a nuclear family, and both the parents are working. So if lack of attention or the lack of time may create the problem, so everyone should have the problem in the schools, but it is not occurring. Here is important, it time does not mean the 24 into 7. Here the time is important means how much qualitatively child is fulfilling, or the child is thinking that he is fulfilled with the attention from the parents. That is important. It is not that I am giving the half an hour time to my child. So I am giving the half an hour quality time to my child, that may create the full satisfaction with my child. And most of the times, many times it is also happening nowadays. Even the parents is giving time, but child is considering that the parents are not giving me the proper time. There is a lack, there is a conflict. If it is happening also, if it is happened also, so it also may create problems initially from in the behavior, or later on it may affect the direct even the social behavior. It may create the academic behavior. It may create the psychological behavior. Even in my study, in my PhD degree, in my study, it was found that the parents who having the negative attitude towards the disabled children in regular schools, their child also process the negative attitude. That means the negative attitude of the parents directly impacted to the child with disability even, and without disability. So that means lack of parental support. That means the home is directly related to the school's behavior. So we have to, and a counselor has a great role to make a bridge to minimize those gaps. Next, students learn to understand self and to opt for a right career choice making with their own interest state and the skills. When he is entering into the from class 9, and in case of our intellectual disability students from pre-vocational level, so they may completed their basic educations, and then they is entering into the a proper career path. So that time it is important role of the psychologist to identify the proper interest, trade and skills of the individuals with and without disabilities in the school, so that he may not get frustrated in future. So later on I will discuss that part. And now in your syllabus there are two parts. There is a types of counseling is also there. All of you are aware, but here just I would like to mention types of counseling, that is, the directive counseling and non-directive counseling and eclectic counseling. In case of directive counseling, and here the major role is given the problem solving. So we are giving emphasis on the problem solving skill. Counselor or the psychologist here the identifies, defines, diagnose, and the provider solution to the problem. Directly identify, defines, diagnose, and the give the solution to the problem. And informing, thinking by informing, explaining, interpreting, and advising. Counselor oriented and emphasis is on the problem. So that is in the directive counseling merit. So when you are directly intervening the problems and directly identifying the problem, so that time it may be time consuming, it may be the economical, you may not take much more session most of the time, and gives happiness to the counselee as he gets a solution to his problem. So immediately when the counselee is getting the solution, so he maybe agree. For example, it is not directly as a part of the counsel. For example, I am your teacher in M.ED level program. So I am telling you that I am giving you the 5 questions, and from 5 questions, the 2 questions will be directly come to your exam. So you will be initially at least you will be more happy. But one teacher or faculty, he said that you have to study properly, and from there anything could come in the examination. So you may not uh, you maybe get your late result in future, but immediately you maybe get frustrated, you maybe unhappy. It similarly in the direct counseling, the counsel is the happy because they are getting the immediate solution. Emphasize on the intellectual rather than the emotional aspects most of the time. Demerits the skill initiatives in play therapy. That is also the one type of cognitive based therapy, the psychoanalytic theory, psychoanalytic approach in counseling or in therapy. Though they believe that every child has the potentiality, even every individual has the potentiality to solve the problem if you give the proper situation. So but in case of when we are talking about the direct counseling, so that time as I am giving you the suggestion, your inner world, your inner child, or your inner individual may not working out with the solution. So as a result, I am killing the initiative from of the individual, mixing helpless. So helpless here, helpless means maybe he may be dependent on the counselor, as the most of the time he is directly getting the solution suggestions. So that means when the counselor is not present and there is a problem, he may not be in a position to solve the problem immediately. So that makes the pupil, but then it makes the client helpless. Does not guide counselor to the efficient and confident, undemocratic, and the made dependent, as I have mentioned.